Ladies and gentlemen, would like to request everyone to be kindly at your seats. The Honorable Minister, sir, is already in the premises. He's visiting the exhibition area, and then shortly he's going to be joining us here. As mentioned here earlier, that the Honorable Minister first visits the exhibition. There are almost 11 stalls which are showcasing the various technological solutions which are being extended by NIELIT. This is along with the industry. So we have the exhibit stall of cyber security and cyber forensic by NIELIT Gorakhpur and Kohima, which is showcasing the virtual lab and the ICR project. This stall highlights the cutting-edge tools for cyber security awareness, forensic analysis, and capacity building. And as I mentioned earlier, in this August gathering, we also have our legal experts joining us, and also we are going to be, as the dignitaries join us, we are also going to be looking into, and they're going to be sharing their views on the legal expertise which they bring to the fore. We have a stall on semiconductor, that's by NIELIT Calicut and Aurangabad, which focuses on the semiconductor research and innovation. The stall, ladies and gentlemen, demonstrates the advancements in the chip design, fabrication, and applications for future technologies. There's a stall on semiconductor and EdTech coming from NIELIT COE Noida, bringing together the semiconductor technologies and the education technologies, and it emphasizes on skill building and the next generation learning solutions. We have a stall on artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things, that's by NIELIT Ropar, Imphal, Delhi, Agartala, and Jammu Kashmir, showcasing and featuring EEG-based DOA systems, AI-based underwater drones, and a sign language virtual assistant. The stall presents impactful AI and IoT applications. The Honorable Minister, sir, as I mentioned, he's paying a visit in the exhibition area, viewing these various stalls in the exhibition area. There's also by NIELIT Ropar and the other campuses presenting the NIC EDT journals and academic resources, highlighting NIELIT's role as a hub of higher education and research. We also have a stall on bioinformatics and agri-sciences, that's by NIELIT Guwahati and Kolkata, showcasing the bioinformatics tools and the agri-sciences innovation, showcasing further various technology-driven solutions for agriculture and healthcare. And then there's a stall by NIELIT Delhi and the headquarters on NIELIT skilling and examination systems. That's highlighting the skilling programs, the defense and corporate training which NIELIT has been undertaking, the ISO certified systems. This stall reflects NIELIT's digital training and the examination leadership. And then there is for the startups and entrepreneurs by NIELIT Kohima, Guwahati, and Leh, promoting entrepreneurship. The stall showcases innovative startup initiatives, including products from Ladakh Electro Hub. There's also on livelihoods, handlooms, and handicrafts coming from Kohima and Leh, which are featuring the wood carvings, the handloom, and the traditional crafts. And we also have on virtual education and smart lab, that's by NIELIT Chennai and Calicut and Kaidoko. The stall demonstrates the immersive digital learning and smart lab setups. There's also on drone tech, 3D printing, solar and emerging technologies by NIELIT Leh, Calicut, Jammu Kashmir, and Imphal and Aurangabad and BVSR, showcasing drone part printing, solar part system, and then blockchain and RPA solutions, demonstrating the impact of emerging technologies on innovation. So we also urge you to pay a visit in the exhibition area once we are finished with the program here. As mentioned, the session with the Honorable Minister is going to be for 1 hour, and post that we have a special session, and that's a panel discussion on the role of artificial intelligence in digitalization of education. Once again, a very humble request to everyone to please have your mobile phones on the silent mode or on the meeting mode, please. सभी से निवेदन है अपने phones को please silent mode या meeting mode पर रखें. So that is where on your screens, ladies and gentlemen, you can see the Honorable Minister Sir visiting the exhibition and taking a look at the exhibits. The technological solutions, the products and display there by various NIELIT centers. As I mentioned, 56 centers of NIELIT and 11 university campuses, NIELIT having a strong pan-India presence. And along with the Honorable Minister Sir, we have the Director General of NIELIT, Dr. Madan Mohan Tripathi ji. That's the stall for the startups and the entrepreneurs. And now on the skilling programs of NIELIT towards capacity building and the examination systems. Requesting everyone to be at their respective seats. सभी से निवेदन है अपने प्लीज स्थान पर बने रहें. और अब देवी सजनों, आप सभी की विशेष सम्मान भरी तालियों के बीच स्वागत करते हैं हमारे मुख्य अतिथि आदरणीय श्री अश्विनी वैष्णव जी का. हमारे माननीय रेल सूचना एवं प्रसारण, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स एवं सूचना प्रौद्योगिकी केंद्रीय मंत्री आदरणीय श्री अश्विनी वैष्णव जी को नमस्कार, बहुत बहुत स्वागत. हमारे विशेष अतिथि श्री एस कृष्णन, सचिव मेटी, डॉक्टर राजीव मैनी जी, सचिव लेजिस्लेटिव डिपार्टमेंट, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ लॉ एंड जस्टिस, प्रोफेसर अनिल सहस्रबुद्धे, चेयरमैन नेशनल एजुकेशनल टेक्नोलॉजी फोरम, श्री भुवनेश कुमार, सीईओ यूआईडीआई, और मिस प्रीतिनाथ, इकोनॉमिक एडवाइजर मेटी, साथ में डॉक्टर मदन मोहन त्रिपाठी जी, हमारे डायरेक्टर जनरल NIELIT. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, namaskar to everyone, and with profound significance and a very deep sense of gratitude towards the Honorable Minister Sir and all the dignitaries present here on the dais and off the dais. It's a pleasure and a delight to be welcoming all of you in this very historic and a very momentous occasion, wherein shortly we are going to be witnessing the launch of NIELIT's digital university platform at the hands of our Honorable Minister Sir. And ladies and gentlemen, this launch is not just India's first of its kind digital university model, but if you see, it is a very significant step in the direction of realization of Honorable Prime Minister Modi's vision of Digital India, where technology is the greatest enabler towards empowerment, opportunity, and inclusion, connecting every learner to future-ready skills, to future-ready opportunities, with affordability and accessibility at the core, and then positioning India as a hub of digital learning and training, not only for the citizens of our country, but in fact for the global south. And then, ladies and gentlemen, as we are going to be having the launch, this is happening on a very historic day and a very auspicious day. Nationwide, today we are celebrating the birth anniversary of two iconic leaders of our country, of Mahatma Gandhi ji, whose vision of inclusive development always inspires us. And then of Lal Bahadur Shastri ji, an embodiment of peace, of progress, of integrity and simplicity. And then this event, ladies and gentlemen, is happening in this complex, which is dedicated to the Constitution Nirmata, to Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar Sahab, a visionary leader for whom education has always been the cornerstone of opportunity, of nation building, of equality. So what a remarkable day we are having this launch. So once again, thanking each one of you for joining us. And it is only fitting that we first express our deepest regards and thank you to all the thought leaders and people who have been the mind, the soul behind this launch. So I would like to first request our Director General, Dr. Madan Mohan Tripathi ji, to kindly welcome and thank the Honorable Minister, Sir, Shri Ashwini Vaishnaw ji, by presenting him the plant and further felicitating him with a shawl. आप सभी से भी निवेदन है कि माननीय मंत्री जी को विशेष आभार व्यक्त करते हुए हमारा करते हैं और साथ में एक प्रतिमा माँ सरस्वती की, माँ सरस्वती, the goddess of knowledge and wisdom, उनकी अनुकंपा हम सभी पर बनी रहे. साथ साथ स्वागत श्री एस कृष्णन जी का, सेक्रेटरी मेटी. We welcome Dr. Rajiv Meni, Secretary, Legislative Department, Ministry of Law and Justice. Presenting the Pratima of Goddess of Knowledge and Wisdom and also of Music. Welcoming Professor Anil Sahasrabuddhe, Chairman, National Educational Technology Forum. बहुत बहुत स्वागत साथ में श्री भुवनेश कुमार जी का, CEO UIDI. And welcoming Ms. Preeti Nath, the Economic Advisor to meeting. And today, ladies and gentlemen, apart from the launch of the university, we are also going to be witnessing 5 new centers of NIELIT which are going to be inaugurated, and then various industry partnerships which are going to be further cemented in the presence of the Honorable Minister, sir. So as we open the doors to this dialogue and then inviting the views and perspective on this university from all our leaders here, may I first request Dr. Madan Mohan Tripathi ji, the Director General NIELIT, for his welcome remarks.
Thank you. Very good afternoon to all of you. On this day of Vijayadashmi, which is so auspicious, and we have the birthday of 2 great people, Mahatma Gandhi ji and Shri Lal Bahadur Shastri ji. I welcome all of you here, especially Honorable Minister for Railways, Electronics and Information Technology, Information and Broadcasting, who is also the chairperson of the Governing Council of NIELIT and the Chancellor of the NIELIT deemed to be university. I welcome you, sir, here, that you have taken time from your busy schedule to launch the NIELIT University platform. I welcome Secretary MIT, Shri Ashwini, sir, Secretary Legal Affairs, Dr. Raju Maniji, Professor Anil Sahasrabudhe, Chairman NETF, Shri Bhunesh Kumar ji, CEO UIDI, Ms. Preeti Nath, Economic Advisor MIT, the ambassadors from different countries with whom we are working in the skilling domain. They are also here, some esteemed guests from the industry and the government, the staff and officers of the NIELIT and students. I welcome all of you on this program, which is very, very much auspicious. We hope that this very small initiative will finally culminate in a big thing tomorrow. So just I'll tell some brief about this platform. We are launching today this with 101 courses right now. And these 101 courses are the deep tech skilling program, and that's a very unique thing about this platform as compared to other platforms which are available in the country. All the deep tech skilling programs, they all are supported by virtual labs also. So we have programs in artificial intelligence, in semiconductor domain, in cloud computing, and so in different areas like Industry 4.0, which are very deep tech. So 20 such fields are available for learning, and then we'll be adding many, many more programs to it. The most important thing of this platform is that it has a lot of AI tools today, which have the potential to become a product in itself in coming times. For example, we have an AI evaluator system for subjective questions, which is a problem for every university. It evaluates the subjective question papers also. So it has an AI recommender system. It has AI system for the personalized learning. It has a credit mapper, which can map the credit between the certificates and the degrees of different universities. So these are the individual facilities which are available on this portal. They all have the potential to become a bigger product in future also. So with all these facilities, we are going to see the launch, and I wish that on this auspicious day, when we have seen a big organization has already completing the 100 years, maybe this university in coming times may become the biggest university in the world, which largest number of the students. So with these words, I again welcome all of you here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for setting the tone and the context of the event. And now, ladies and gentlemen, inviting Professor Sahasrabudhe, a pioneering figure in educational technology, previously the chairman of AICTE. And as you know that the various programs and the curriculum which is being extended by NIELIT, these are industry-aligned, future-ready programs being developed, which are going to be not only complementing, but further strengthening the higher education system. That is where the importance of the former chairman of AICTE stands important. He's also the chair at the National Educational Technology Forum presently, with the national reputation for advancing innovation in education and digital frameworks, aligning well with the event's focus. So I request Professor Sahasrabudhe for his views.
सभी को नमस्कार। माननीय मंत्री, भारत सरकार 3 मंत्रालय के पदभार संभालने वाले मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स एंड बी रेलवेज श्री अश्विनी वैष्णव जी, 2 सेक्रेटरी श्री एस कृष्णन जी, डॉक्टर राजीव मनी जी, डॉक्टर मदन मोहन त्रिपाठी, डायरेक्टर जनरल NIELIT, श्री भुवनेश कुमार तथा डॉक्टर प्रीति नाथ, and all other dignitaries of the dais. On a very auspicious day, 5 new centers of NIELIT are being launched. So it's a very important thing. विजयादशमी के दिन हम विजय प्राप्त करते हैं, तो आज NIELIT ने 5 ऐसे अलग अलग जगहों में सेंटर खोलने का विचार किया है जहां शिक्षा इतनी आसानी से गई नहीं थी, ऐसे जगहों को चुना है। तो इसलिए NIELIT को बहुत बहुत बधाइयाँ, ये बहुत ही बेहतरीन कार्य है। जैसे बाहर में मैं आने के पहले एग्जीबिशन जो है उसको भी देख रहा था, तो जिस ढंग से आज 21st सेंचुरी स्किल्स और जिससे जॉब एम्प्लॉयमेंट मिल सकती है, तथा बहुत लोगों को उससे प्रेरणा लेते हुए कुछ अपने खुद के स्टार्टअप भी क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, ऐसे स्टार्टअप भी वहाँ थे। तो इसका मतलब मेरे ख्याल से जो एजुकेशन NIELIT के माध्यम से 101 कोर्सेज की बात त्रिपाठी जी ने की, इसका उपयोग दूर दराज के जगह में जो फॉर्मल एजुकेशन के लिए बाहर आकर इतना खर्चा करके दिल्ली में हो या कलकत्ता में हो या बम्बई में सीखने के लिए नहीं आ सकते, उनको अपने घर में बैठ के शिक्षा मिलने वाली सुविधा जो की है उसके लिए बहुत बहुत बधाइयाँ। और मेरे ख्याल से जो आज भारत चौथी बड़ी इकोनॉमी के रूप में उभरा हुआ है, वो सिर्फ बड़े बड़े इंडस्ट्रीज़ और IITs के वजह से नहीं है, लेकिन टियर 2 टियर 3 सिटीज़ में से जो स्टार्टअप बाहर आए हुए हैं उनके वजह से। और ये पर्टिकुलर 5 सेंटर्स जो निर्माण हो रहे हैं और इनके सहायता से हम AI हो, साइबर सिक्योरिटी हो, रोबोटिक्स हो या ड्रोन्स हो, ये टेक्नोलॉजी जगह जगह में पहुंचेगी। तो भारत दुनिया में अभी तो 3rd लार्जेस्ट स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम है, अगले 10 साल में शायद हम सबसे लार्जेस्ट स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम होने में सक्षम रहेंगे, ऐसा भी लग रहा है। क्योंकि जो AICT के अनुभव से मैं देखा कि जो स्मार्ट इंडिया हैकाथॉन की शुरुआत की थी, तो गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट के प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट्स फ्रॉम डिफरेंट मिनिस्ट्रीज इंक्लूडिंग ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस लाइक DRDO, ISRO, जो एक तरफ CII, NASSCOM, FICCI बार बार कहती रहती थी कि हमारे स्टूडेंट्स एम्प्लॉयबल नहीं है, एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी मैक्सिमम 30% 40% है, लेकिन उसी कॉलेजेस और यूनिवर्सिटी से, छोटे छोटे गांवों से, टियर 2 टियर 3 टाउन से जब ऐसे चैलेंजिंग प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट्स दिए गए, तो उन्होंने जो सोल्यूशन दिए उसको ISRO ने भी अपनाया, DRDO ने भी अपनाया, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ रेलवेज ने भी अपनाया। इसका मतलब बच्चों में ताकत है, उसको पहचानना, उनको सपोर्ट देना, उनको उनके स्किल्स को होन करना, ये जो रोल रेगुलेटर हो या फैसिलिटेटर हो इनको करनी चाहिए। उसकी जब शुरुआत हुई तो गत 9 साल में प्रधानमंत्री जी हर साल हैकाथॉन के पहले दिन के 12 घंटे के बाद कम से कम 6-7 सेंटर्स के छात्रों के साथ जुड़ते हैं, उनसे बातचीत करते हैं, उनको प्रोत्साहन देते हैं। तो मेरे ख्याल से इससे एक नई चेतना निर्माण हुई है। और आज नीति आयोग का टिंकरिंग लैब्स जो 10,000 से अभी 50,000 और होने वाले हैं, और 81वें स्थान से जो हम 39वें स्थान पर ग्लोबल इनोवेशन इंडेक्स में पहुंच गए हैं। तो अगला 5-10 साल का जो समय है, जिसको हम अमृतकाल कह रहे हैं, और 2047 तक जब हम हमारे देश की 100 साल पुराने होंगे, आज एक और संगठन जिसका 100 साल पूरा हुआ है, उनकी प्रेरणा लेते हुए देश भी 100 साल जब पूरा करेगा, तब हम शायद वर्ल्ड के बेस्ट इनोवेशन के लिए जाने जाएंगे। हमारी स्टार्टअप भी बहुत बढ़िया रहेगी। मे भी हम तब तक ग्लोबल इकोनॉमी में 4th से 3rd से 2nd, हो सकता है 1st भी हो सकेंगे। ऐसा कहते हुए NIELIT को और एक बधाइयाँ देते हुए कि ऐसी जर्नी आगे बढ़ती रहे, और ऐसे इम्पोर्टेंट क्षण में इससे ज़्यादा और कुछ नहीं कह सकेंगे कि आगे आगे देखो क्या होता है। ऐसे बोलते हुए मेरे 4 शब्द समाप्त करता हूँ। नमस्कार, जय हिंद।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर आपकी शुभकामनाओं के लिए, और आपकी तरफ से इस यूनिवर्सिटी की स्थापना का उद्देश्य क्या है और क्या इम्पैक्ट होगा उसके बारे में हमें जानकारी देने के लिए। And now, ladies and gentlemen, requesting and inviting Dr. Rajiv Meniji, Secretary, Legislative Department, to kindly address the congregation.
respected Chief Guest, Shri Ashwini Vaishnaw ji, Honorable Minister for MIT, Railways and Information and Broadcasting, Shri S. Krishnan ji, Secretary MIT, Shri Anil Sahasrabudhe ji, Chairman National Educational Technology Forum, Shri Bhuvanesh Kumar ji, Head UIDI, Ms. Preeti Nath, Economist Advisor MIT, Shri Madan Mohan Tripathi, Vice Chancellor NIELIT, esteemed guests in the audience, ladies and gentlemen, and dear students. It's indeed a momentous occasion today that we have gathered today for the launch of the NIELIT centers in 5 more states, which are being done as a part of the digital outreach and as an effort to promote Atmanirbhar Bharat in the digital revolution which we are presently witnessing in the country. Sometimes momentous occasions happen around us and we are not able to comprehend the achievements which we are currently undertaking. I think we are living in this digital era of digital revolution which has been ushered in the past decade, more than a decade. And the digital inclusion which has influenced each and every citizen of the country is phenomenal. Right from the street vendor to the highest e-commerce platform, we are all part of the digital inclusion which has happened due to the revolution which has been inculcated with the help of mobile phone, internet, and of course the JAM Trinity is an example worldwide which is being highly appreciated. So as we say that I am a man, of course, from the law ministry and I deal with laws, but as we say that law and technology both are evolutionary processes. So we have seen that law from very simple codes has now become evolved over a period of time to something more complex. And the society itself has become quite complex in the sense that various regulations are required to deal with various new legislations and are brought in to deal with various new issues. Law, of course, as I understand, is a dynamic dynamic phenomenon, and every situation challenges requires us to usher in some new amendments or regulations. Similarly, technology, right from the first industrial revolution, we are told that we are in the midst of the 4th industrial revolution presently. It has undergone phenomenal change and has affected and impacted each and every citizen of the country. So, like this dynamism in the law which has evolved, similarly is the role of technology. And I always remember that this is a function of a digital university, NDU. Our ancient rishis and sages were great scientists also. So besides their spiritual power which they held, they were in fact inventor of so many things, so many complex things, right from the invention of zero to in the fields of chemistry, in the field of medicine, Acharya Shrut, and maybe many more. So we are, in fact, the inheritors of this great civilization. And as the Honorable Prime Minister has one of the Panch Pran, which he called for the nation from the ramparts of the Red Fort, is that we should take pride in our inheritance and our civilization. The growth of NDU and the establishment of new centers of NIELIT today, which we are witnessing, is one step in that, in the growth of Atmanirbhar Bharat. And as we say in our philosophy, Chareveti, that we have to move forward, look forward, move ahead. Similarly is the story of science, right from the invention of wheel to the discovery of fire, and now in the present, the 4th digital revolution that is fueled by the growth of internet and information technology, and which the Honorable Minister, under the guidance of the Honorable Prime Minister, has been very proactively taking it forward. So I think it is a great occasion for all of us, and as students, as a student of law and as students of any other field, we all look forward because technology has infused all our working areas, whether it is agriculture, whether it is weather forecasting, whether it is even in some countries laws are being drafted by use of AI. I was really surprised that this is not done, at least in the sense I am a traditionalist in that sense, so I would not support it, but of course you can take help from. There's a suggestion that AI should also help the judges in giving their decisions. So, all those thoughts are going on, but the fact remains that the work which is being done to create a professional workforce, well equipped and well skilled in the field of IT, is a great achievement for the country. By 2030, India is normally has targeted to have 40 lakh students being skilled in various various areas. And this launch of NIELIT new centers today is another great step in this direction. And more important, which I saw, is that all remote locations in the country, right from Leh, Ladakh, Jammu, Kashmir to even the northeast and other parts of the country, are being covered by this university. I congratulate the leadership of the MIT and the leadership of NDU for having taken these proactive steps to inculcate the vision of professionalism and the skills of IT in our students who are remotely located, and to help them in so many ways. So it is in fact a part of the digital inclusion that persons who cannot afford to come to Delhi, who cannot afford very high and costly education, are also given equal opportunity. So that in that sense, technology is a great leveler. And the establishment of NDU and the growth of its platforms in various parts of the country is a manifestation of that holy goal to empower our citizens and infuse the digital revolution in all parts of the country. I congratulate once again the MIT, the NDU administration, and wish them all the best. And before I end, I wish you all the best on this Mahaparva Vijayadashmi, and of course the birth anniversary of our two great leaders, Mahatma Gandhi and Lal Bahadur Shastri. I thank the host for giving me this opportunity to be amongst you on this occasion. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you very much, sir, for your inspiring address, and once again reiterating the promise of this university, which is going to be driving in inclusion, empowerment, and taking opportunities to the Tier 2 and the Tier 3 cities. And so thank you very much, sir. And now inviting Shri S. Krishnan, our Secretary Meeting, who has been the guiding force behind this digital transformation which India has been experiencing and has driven many of policies fostering innovation, inclusivity, and technology-led growth.
The Honorable Minister for Railways, Information Broadcasting and Information Technology, Shri Ashwini Vaishnaw, the former chairman of AICTE and senior educationist and currently chairman of the National Educational Technology Forum, Professor Anil Sahasrabuddhe, my colleague and secretary in the Legislative Department of the Ministry of Law and Justice, Dr. Rajiv Mani, Shri Bhuvnesh Kumar, the CEO of Aadhaar, my colleague in MeitY, Srimati Preeti Nath, and of course the Director General of NIELIT and the Vice Chancellor of the NIELIT deemed university, Dr. Madan Mohan Tripathi, and many dignitaries who are present here today in the audience, and as also the dignitaries who have joined online at the 5 locations where the new centers are being inaugurated today. I think this is a very significant event. When we were discussing the idea that NIELIT would, at least 10 of the campuses of NIELIT would become a university in itself and would become a deemed to be university, and when this notion was being presented and discussed as an idea, the Honorable Minister encouraged us, saying that you should actually be thinking of a digital university. And an idea which came out of that discussion is what is seeing its fructification today in the form of a digital platform, a digital university platform in which a number of courses are being delivered to a much broader range of students. I think oftentimes we underestimate the importance of NIELIT. It has been pointed out that NIELIT has a number of its centers located in Tier 2, Tier 3 cities. But I think what I would like to highlight to you is NIELIT's locations, and most of them, 20 of them, are in the northeast and in the hill states. NIELIT's locations are mainly in underserved areas. They have very few in the southern states, in the western states, and in states which are educationally more advanced, where educational infrastructure is available either from the government or from the private sector. They are primarily present where nobody else is there to actually train youth in this area. When I was in Shillong, the Chief Secretary, the then Chief Secretary of Meghalaya, actually told me that practically everybody who works in the Secretariat in Shillong who has any computer knowledge had learned it in NIELIT Shillong. So that is the importance of NIELIT in many of the underserved parts of the country where they have been the most significant contributors to this. Even in today's exhibition, you would have found representatives from NIELIT Kohima, NIELIT in Manipur, and in the more distant, and in Kashmir, and in the more distant parts. And clearly, they've had a very important role in spreading education about both electronics and information technology in these places. And very interestingly, when I visited NIELIT in Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar, formerly Aurangabad, and when I was looking at the structure of how the institute itself is had been structured in the 80s, it was very interesting to find that some of the thought behind it of a former predecessor, Shri Nambiar, who recently passed away, who was then the Secretary of Electronics, was that you have a master's program in design alongside a series of ITI and polytechnic-based programs, diploma and certificate programs. So you trained on the one hand the designers of various electronic equipment, and on the other hand you also trained those who work on the shop floor and actually manufacture the equipment. It was a kind of design, it is something that we are trying to replicate today in terms of ensuring that we both have the design capacity in the country and the ability to manufacture electronics in the country. So I think in some ways what we are seeing today is a fructification of that vision, and we should be in a position to actually start the process of substantial electronics manufacture. This morning the Honorable Minister was in Electronics Niketan and made the announcement of the kind of response we have seen for the electronics component manufacturing scheme, the kind of investment that very enthusiastically businesses have come forward to put into this particular area. The total, whereas we expected about 59,000 crores worth of investment, the total investment which people have committed is more than 1,18,000 crores. So clearly there is considerable enthusiasm and considerable interest now in believing that India can actually be an electronics manufacturing destination. Recent policy changes, the policy stability, the demonstration, the success of the PLI schemes, all of this has finally indicated that what we could not achieve over several decades is now possible to achieve, and we actually see all of this coming to fruition. And clearly, NIELIT has a very key role to contribute in this overall vision of electronics manufacture, semiconductor manufacture, and design in this country. They have people in the right locations. For instance, when the scheme for establishing, when the approval was provided for the project to be established at Jagi Road near Guwahati for the Tata Electronics ATMP plant which is to be established there, one of the key points which the cabinet decided was that the employment as far as possible needs to be from that local area. And if for that to make it possible, NIELIT has been working very hard with IIT Guwahati and other entities to make sure that they're able to train enough people in the local area to be able to work on that particular plant. So that becomes a very crucial element of what needs to happen. And the other dimension which I find very interesting that we are actually getting into this year and on this particular occasion, which is underlined by the presence of Dr. Rajiv Mani, the Secretary in the Law Department, is basically how more awareness about laws and how more awareness about laws relating to this particular cyberspace is more and more important for society and the way in which it can be sort of disseminated. I find that even in the ministry, a substantial portion of our time actually gets devoted towards various elements of cyber law. It's probably one of the busiest divisions we have in the ministry, and both the time of the Secretary and the Minister to a substantial extent is taken up on the legal and policy issues relating to this, and that is truly very important because it affects all of us as individuals and citizens. And if greater awareness is built through the digital platform and greater knowledge about these kind of laws is something that we are able to work towards, that is very critical. Likewise, cybersecurity is another area which is very critical. So I think there is a lot which can be done. NIELIT has already trained almost about 1.3 crore people. Every year it trains close to 10 lakh people. The throughput that they're able to achieve is considerable. And I think this is something that they should strive towards, and hopefully the outreach that they will have will be substantially enhanced, both by the launch of the digital platform today and also by the launch of 5 more centers that are being inaugurated today at Lunglei in Mizoram, Muzaffarpur in Bihar, Balasore in Odisha, Tirupati in Andhra Pradesh, and Daman. So at all of these locations, we are going to have the new centers being inaugurated, and I think our outreach is increasing, and the focus needs to continue to be on the hard-to-reach areas, the areas which have not reached, and I'm sure that is a mission they'll carry forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for complimenting the role of NIELIT in education, training, and research in electronics, information communication technology. And as you said, as we expand our digital footprint, the legal framework need to be further strengthened. Thank you for your guidance and your views, sir. And ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of NIELIT, it now gives me immense pleasure to share with you a significant milestone in NIELIT's journey. On the 9th of August 2024, NIELIT had signed an agreement with Kyndryl to conduct the Kyndryl-NIELIT Advanced Skilling Program in Development, Security and Operations, as we call it, DevSecOps. This program is being offered at the basic, intermediate and advanced levels with the very aim of equipping learners with cutting-edge skills in this vital domain. Further strengthening this collaboration, on the 25th of April this year, an addendum agreement was signed between NIELIT and Kyndryl to train an additional 1,500 candidates within a span of 2 years. And what makes this agreement or the coming together of the two more special is that the training is being provided under the Corporate Social Responsibility Initiative of Kyndryl with the very purpose of empowering candidates from economically weaker sections of society. The trainings are being conducted by the expert trainers in NIELIT, and participants who complete the program are awarded a prestigious joint certification both from NIELIT and Kyndryl, adding immense value to their professional journey. And we feel proud to be sharing with you that so far 216 candidates have already been successfully trained, while training for another 86 candidates is currently in progress. So I would like to first invite here on stage Ms. Gitanjali Gaur, the Social Impact CSR Leader for India from Kyndryl, to please be joining us here on the stage, whose efforts and vision have been instrumental in shaping this partnership. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we move to that special moment of the felicitation of the toppers of the Kyndryl DevSecOps course. I would like to request our Honorable Minister, sir, to kindly do the honors. The very first batch, ladies and gentlemen, the two participants, the toppers are here, Mr. Manish Kumar and Mr. Harmanjot Singh. From the very first batch, these are two participants have displayed exceptional performance and emerge as top rankers. And this standing as a shining example of the industry-aligned job-ready training which is being provided by NIELIT. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have the exchange of MOUs between NIELIT and the industry partners in the presence of the Honorable Minister, sir. We first have the MOU exchange between NIELIT and Microsoft. From the NIELIT side, we have our Director General, and from Microsoft, would like to invite here on the stage Dr. Winnie Jory, the Director Education and Industry, to be joining us for the exchange of this MOU. Requesting them to be kindly coming in front of the stage. And this MOU, ladies and gentlemen, is to collaborate on projects by sharing expertise, identifying joint objectives, and creating frameworks for cooperation in technology and digital education. The next MOU is between NIELIT and Central Council for Research in Yoga and Naturopathy. Would like to invite the Director, CCRYN, Dr. Raghavendra Rauji, to kindly join us here on the stage. And we have the exchange between the two of them, the DG NIELIT and Director CCRYN. This is to combine NIELIT's IT and skill development strength with CCRYN's expertise in yoga and naturopathy, creating digital platform, joint projects and capacity building projects for holistic wellness. The next MOU is between NIELIT and Zscaler, and would like to invite Harish Sati, the Head of Technology, the Head of Technical Content, and Anand S. Upadhyay, the Sales Leader. This MOU is to establish NIELIT as a partner under the Zscaler Academic Alliance program, offering cybersecurity training programs and bridging the skill gap in this critical domain. The next MOU is between NIELIT and Dixon Technologies India Limited. Would like to invite here on stage Dr. Samar Srivastava, the Vice President, Dixon Technologies. And this MOU is to set up and operate a learning center delivering education, vocational training, digital literacy, and life skills for underserved communities, promoting social inclusion and empowerment. Congratulations to them. And the last MOU, ladies and gentlemen, between NIELIT and Future Crime Research Foundation. Would like to invite Professor Tribeni Singh, the former IPS chairperson and chief mentor of the Future Crime Research Foundation. This MOU is towards strengthening India's cybersecurity ecosystem through training, research, certification program, innovation on topics like AI in cybercrime, dark web, quantum threats, while also setting up the R&D labs and publishing threat reports. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we move to that proud moment, the inauguration and the dedication to the nation of the 5 new NIELIT centers. Centers at Muzaffarpur, Balasore, Lunglei, Daman, NDU, and Tirupati, which are now going to be inaugurated at the hands of the Honorable Minister, sir. May I request the Honorable Minister, sir, to kindly inaugurate it with the click of a remote. So these centers, ladies and gentlemen, as that's where you see the inauguration happening. That is the ribbon, doing the digital
NIELIT
virtual way.
Balasore in Odisha. NIELIT Daman in Dadra and Nagar, Haveli and Daman and Div. NIELIT Lunglei in Mizoram. NIELIT Muzaffarpur in Bihar. NIELIT Tirupati in Andhra Pradesh.
The 5 centers, Rashtra ko samarpit, and these centers will expand access to quality digital skilling across diverse regions. And now the moment for which we have all gathered here, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to be witnessing the launch of NIELIT's Digital University Platform. I would like to request the Honorable Minister, sir, once again with the click of the remote, to please launch and dedicate to the nation this university. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, India making this giant leap forward in realizing Prime Minister
एक
Modi's
देश
vision
जहां
of
140
Viksit
करोड़
Bharat.
सपने हैं। सोचिए, अगर शिक्षा किसी किताब या कक्षा में कैद ना रहे, बल्कि आपके साथ चलती रहे, आपकी भाषा में, आपके समय पर और जहां आप हैं वहीं। पिछले 3 दशकों से नाइलेट देश की डिजिटल शिक्षा की मजबूत रीढ़ रहा है। हमने 1,35,00,000 से अधिक लोगों को तकनीक और नए हुनरों में प्रशिक्षित किया है। महानगरों की चहल पहल से लेकर दूर के गांवों और पहाड़ी इलाकों तक, समुद्री किनारों से लेकर हिमालय की चोटियों तक 56 मुख्य केंद्र, 9,500 से अधिक सुविधा केंद्र और तकनीकी शिक्षा में गहरी पकड़। अब नाइलेट एक नए रूप में आगे बढ़ रहा है, कुछ और बड़ा और व्यापक और साहसी बनकर।
साथियों, किसी भी देश का भविष्य उसकी युवा पीढ़ी पर निर्भर होता है। इसलिए ये जरूरी है कि हम अपने युवाओं के भविष्य के लिए और उनको भारत के उज्जवल भविष्य के लिए तैयार करें। इसमें बड़ी भूमिका देश के एजुकेशन सिस्टम की भी होती है। इसलिए हम देश के एजुकेशन सिस्टम को 21वीं सदी की जरूरतों के मुताबिक आधुनिक बना रहे हैं।
माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के मार्गदर्शन में भारत का सपना है दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा डिजिटल टैलेंट हब बनना, जहां हमारे युवा आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, साइबर सिक्योरिटी और सेमीकंडक्टर डिजाइन में नई इबारत लिखेंगे। इसी सपने को साकार करने के लिए हम ला रहे हैं नाइलेट डिजिटल यूनिवर्सिटी प्लेटफॉर्म, एक ऐसा मंच जहां सीखने की कोई सरहद नहीं, जो आने वाले भारत के लिए बनाया गया है। हिमालय की बर्फीली चोटियों से लेकर कन्याकुमारी के सागरी किनारों तक, उत्तर पूर्व के गांवों से लेकर मुंबई की ऊंची इमारतों तक एक नई शिक्षा क्रांति जन्म ले रही है। यहां सीखने का रास्ता पूरी तरह आपका है। आप शुरू करें, बीच में रोकें, दूसरा रास्ता चुनें या फिर वापस लौटें। मल्टीपल एंट्री, मल्टीपल एग्जिट के साथ अब पढ़ाई आपके जीवन के साथ चलेगी, न कि जीवन पढ़ाई के पीछे। राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति के अनुरूप अब डिग्री करने वाले विद्यार्थी नाइलेट के स्किल कोर्स जोड़कर एकेडमिक क्रेडिट हासिल कर सकते हैं। ये मंच केवल किताबों और कक्षाओं तक सीमित नहीं, ये उन हुनरों को भी मान्यता देता है जो आपने हाथों से काम करके सीखे हैं। यहाँ आपको सिर्फ पाठ्यक्रम नहीं बल्कि एक साथी मिलता है, AI मेंटर, जो आपका प्लान बनाता है, आपकी प्रगति पर नजर रखता है और आपको सही दिशा देता है। 20 से अधिक क्षेत्रों में AI, साइबर सिक्योरिटी, सेमीकंडक्टर्स, क्लाउड और अन्य। आप सीखते हैं वर्चुअल लैब्स, सिमुलेशंस, कैपस्टोन प्रोजेक्ट्स और AI हैकाथॉन्स के जरिए, क्योंकि असली सीख प्रयोग और अनुभव से आती है। इस पूरी व्यवस्था को शक्ति देता है AI टूल्स का मजबूत सेट। नाइलेट मित्र, आपका बहुभाषी चैटबॉट जो 20 से ज्यादा भाषाओं में आपकी मदद करता है। AI करियर पाथवे, जो आपके सपनों के अनुसार सही राह दिखाता है। AI बुक रीडर, किताब अपलोड करें, सवाल पूछें और तुरंत जवाब पाएं। AI इंटरव्यू सिम्युलेटर, जो आपको असली इंटरव्यू जैसा अनुभव देता है। AI सब्जेक्टिव आंसर इवैल्यूएटर, जो तेज, निष्पक्ष और बिना पक्षपात के मूल्यांकन करता है। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी की दृष्टि के तहत ये सिर्फ एक प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं बल्कि एक राष्ट्रीय मिशन है। अगले 5 वर्षों में AI क्षेत्र में 10 लाख और सेमीकंडक्टर क्षेत्र में 50,000 कुशल भारतीय तैयार करने का लक्ष्य है और 2030 तक कुल 40 लाख विशेषज्ञ तैयार होंगे जो सेमीकंडक्टर, AI, साइबर सुरक्षा, क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग और इंडस्ट्री जैसे क्षेत्रों में दुनिया का नेतृत्व करेंगे। इसी के साथ नाइलेट एक ऐसा एडटेक प्लेटफॉर्म तैयार कर रहा है जो अपने सोर्स टूल्स के जरिए चिप डिजाइन सीखने और बनाने का अवसर देश के हर कोने तक पहुंचाएगा। इस तरह नाइलेट अपने डिजिटल विश्वविद्यालय मंच के माध्यम से आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस और सेमीकंडक्टर चिप डिजाइन को हर विद्यार्थी और हर नागरिक तक पहुंचाकर इसे सचमुच लोकतांत्रिक बना रहा है। ये है भारत का पहला सच्चा समावेशी डिजिटल फर्स्ट वैश्विक मानकों वाला लर्निंग प्लेटफॉर्म जो भरोसे पर बना है, नवाचार से चलता है और भविष्य के लिए तैयार है। ये सिर्फ शिक्षा नहीं, ये है भारत की डिजिटल छलांग। नाइलिट डिजिटल यूनिवर्सिटी प्लेटफॉर्म। अपनी राह चुनिए, अपना हुनर बढ़ाइए और बदलाव की नई कहानी लिखिए।
तो बदलाव की नई कहानी लिखता हुआ NDU.digital एक सक्षम, शिक्षित, सशक्त, स्वावलंबी भारत का निर्माण करता हुआ विकसित भारत, NDU.digital. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as we seek to be led and guided by our Honorable Minister, sir, please join me as I request and invite Honorable Shri Ashwini Vaishnaw ji, the Honorable Minister of Railways, Electronics and Information Technology, Information and Broadcasting, for his presidential address.
आज एक बहुत ही बड़ा सपना पूरा हुआ। मैं सबसे पहले आप सबको इस सपने के पूरे होने की बधाई देता हूँ। 3 साल पहले तय किया था कि एक डिजिटल यूनिवर्सिटी बननी चाहिए और उसमें कई ऑप्शंस थे। उन ऑप्शंस में सबसे अच्छा ऑप्शन नाइलेट का था। अल्केश जी साथ बैठे हैं, आप सेक्रेटरी थे तब ये फैसला हुआ था, याद आता है? तो आज ये सपना पूरा हुआ। हमारे सचिव श्री कृष्णन जी, डॉक्टर मनी जी, डॉक्टर सहस्त्रबुद्धे जी, मंच पर विराजमान सभी वरिष्ठ अतिथिगण, मंच के सामने विराजमान सभी अतिथिगण, आप सबको बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। और विशेष शुभकामनाएं मैं देना चाहूँगा बालेश्वर में शायद प्रताप सारंगी जी MP साहब बैठे हैं, कोई कनेक्शन है उनका? यहाँ से दिखता है। नौना नमस्कार। नौना नमस्कार।
नमस्कार।
बहुत अच्छा लगा आप वहाँ पे प्रेजेंट है। बहुत
हाँ नमस्कार।
आप लोगों को बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन। आज विजयादशमी दिने एते सुंदर भाव रे आपनो जहाँ हमारा स्वप्न थिला सेटा पूर्ण होउछि आज। साथ ही साथ मैं नाइलेट तिरुपति में श्री M गुरुमूर्ति जी, ऑनरेबल MP गुरुमूर्ति सर, नमस्ते अंडी बावनारा।
Sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for sanctioning NIELIT for Tirupati.
Good, congratulations. Please
Will
pray.
help
Please
to
pray for the success.
People, sir. Thank you,
मुजफ्फरपुर,
sir. Thank you, sir.
मुजफ्फरपुर बिहार में हमारे माननीय मंत्री श्री केदार प्रसाद गुप्ता जी हैं। नमस्कार माननीय मंत्री जी।
नमस्कार सर, अभी सर को जाना पड़ा एक प्रोग्राम की वजह से। नमस्कार सर।
आपको भी बहुत बहुत बधाई। बिहार में मुजफ्फरपुर में और भी कई अच्छे डेवलपमेंट के काम चल रहे हैं, उसमें एक और कड़ी ये जुड़ेगी और एक मोती जुड़ेगा ये। और अभी कुछ ही टाइम पहले मिजोरम में रेलवे कनेक्टिविटी जुड़ी और आज डिजिटल कनेक्टिविटी जुड़ रही है। मिजोरम में लुंगलई श्री लालहेमपुइया ऑनरेबल MLA लुंगलई वेस्ट, नमस्कार। आर यू प्रेजेंट?
थैंक यू। थैंक यू।
नमस्कार। व्हाट इज द वर्ड फॉर थैंक यू?
Audible.
Kalima. That day we had a very good meeting when the railway line was started. Thank you for being present. ये माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने बहुत ही बड़ा एक लक्ष्य हम सबके सामने रखा था कि एक ऐसी डिजिटल यूनिवर्सिटी हो जो इंडस्ट्री के साथ जुड़ी हुई हो। जैसे ट्रांसपोर्ट की यूनिवर्सिटी बनाई गति शक्ति विश्वविद्यालय, which is totally industry aligned. It has got tie-ups with practically every large transportation sector industry now, with Airbus, with Siemens, with Alstom, with Deutsche Bahn, with practically every industry related to transportation. Same dream we have for NIELIT. मैं NIELIT के DG साहब श्री त्रिपाठी जी का अभिनंदन करूंगा कि आपने कई अच्छे आज MOU साइन किए हैं, लेकिन ये केवल एक शुरुआत होनी चाहिए। टॉप 500 कंपनीज की लिस्ट बनाइए और उन सब टॉप 500 कंपनीज के साथ रेगुलरली एंगेज करके उनके साथ MOU करिए। और केवल MOU पर रुकना नहीं है, MOU तो जो शुरुआत है। हर एक इंडस्ट्री का हमारा एक ही टारगेट देना है कि यू डिसाइड व्हाट यू वांट अस टू टीच, यू डिसाइड हाउ द कोर्स शुड बी, यू डिसाइड व्हाट इज नीडेड फॉर योर इंडस्ट्री। न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है, लंबे समय तक वी हैव बीन टीचिंग व्हाट वी नो, whereas we should actually be teaching what the students and the industry needs. There's a huge difference in what teaching what we know versus teaching what is needed. So time has come when institutions like NIELIT should take that lead in teaching what is needed in the industry. तो आप टॉप 500 यूनिवर्सिटीज़ के साथ इंडस्ट्रीज़ के साथ लिस्ट बना के, और कोई ज़रूरी नहीं कि केवल IT सेक्टर की हो, क्योंकि इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स और IT का उपयोग सभी जगह होता है। अभी आपने नेचुरोपैथी के कोर्स के साथ MOU किया, तो वैसे जहाँ जहाँ इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स एंड IT का उपयोग होता है वहाँ पर स्टूडेंट्स को कैसे ट्रेनिंग दे सकें, कैसे तैयार कर सकें, वो हमारा उद्देश्य होना चाहिए। आज साथियों एक और बहुत बड़ा ड्रीम पूरा हुआ है इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स कंपोनेंट मैन्युफैक्चरिंग का। जैसा आप जानते हैं फिनिश्ड प्रोडक्ट्स बनने चालू हुए भारत में। आज करीब करीब 13 लाख करोड़ 13 लाख करोड़ रुपीस के इंडस्ट्री बन चुका है इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स मैन्युफैक्चरिंग। बाद में मॉड्यूल्स और सब मॉड्यूल्स बनने लगे, और अब इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स कंपोनेंट्स जो पूरे वैल्यू चेन में और डेप्थ लाने के लिए बहुत अच्छी स्कीम तैयार की गई थी। वी वर एक्सपेक्टिंग ऑन द आउटर लिमिट 50,000 करोड़ रुपीस का इन्वेस्टमेंट वी वर एक्सपेक्टिंग, but now we are getting applications of more than 1,15,000 crore. So that's a very big vote of confidence in our policies, in the way our Prime Minister has today made India a trusted partner for the entire world. So I wish you all the very best on this very auspicious occasion. मेरा विश्वास है कि NIELIT आने वाले समय में और भी बहुत अच्छे अचीवमेंट्स करेगा, और मैं हमारे त्रिपाठी साहब को एक ही चीज़ पे बार बार फॉलोअप करूँगा कि टॉप 500 कंपनीज़ के साथ आपके MOU हुए नहीं हुए। हो सकता है अगले साल जब आपका इसका फर्स्ट ईयर कंप्लीट हो, तब तक वही रिपोर्ट कार्ड आप सबके सामने रखिएगा। ऑल द वेरी बेस्ट, थैंक यू।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद माननीय मंत्री जी, अपने विचारों से हमें लाभान्वित करने का, हमारा मार्गदर्शन करने का। आपकी शुभकामनाओं के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और अब इस कार्यक्रम की समाप्ति पर धन्यवाद प्रस्ताव रखने के लिए मैं आमंत्रित करती हूँ डॉक्टर SK धुरुंदर जी को, एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर NIELIT।
So, very good evening to all of you. It's a privilege and honor to deliver the vote of thanks on this momentous occasion. The launch of the NIELIT Digital University platform, a transformative milestone in digital education landscape. So at the outset, heartfelt gratitude is extended to our esteemed Chief Guest, Honorable Minister of Railways, Information and Broadcasting and Electronics and IT, Shri Ashwini Vaishnaw ji, whose vision, guidance and enduring commitment
मैं माफ़ी चाहता हूँ, दमन में हमारे साथी उमेश भाई पटेल जी भी प्रेजेंट है। NIELIT दमन, उमेश भाई पटेल जी
नमस्कार सर।
केम छो? मजामा?
नमस्कार फर्स्ट क्लास सर।
उमेश भाई मजामा? आपका भी बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन। NIELIT दमन की शुरुआत होने पे प्रफुल्ल भाई पटेल जी को भी नमस्कार कहिएगा। थैंक यू।
हाँ बिल्कुल बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
So it's a privilege and honor to deliver the vote of thanks on this momentous occasion, the launch of the NIELIT Digital University platform, a transformative milestone in India's digital education landscape. So at the outset, heartfelt gratitude is extended to our esteemed chief guest, Honorable Minister of Railways, Information and Broadcasting, and Electronics and IT, Shri Ashwini Vaishnaw ji, whose vision, guidance, and enduring commitment to digital empowerment have shaped the trajectory of technology-driven education across the nation. My sincere appreciation goes to every distinguished dignitary present over the dais, Shri S. Krishnan, Secretary Mighty, Dr. Rajiv Mani, Secretary, Legislative Department, Ministry of Law and Justice, Bhuvnesh Kumar, CEO, UIDAI, Madam Preeti Nath, Economic Advisor, Mighty, Professor Anil Sahasrabuddhe, NETF Chairman, and Dr. Madan Mohan Tripathi, Director General, NIELIT. A special thanks to respected dignitaries at NIELIT centers launched today. My heartfelt thanks to all government representatives, industry partners, and friends from media. I also thank our students and colleagues from NIELIT. Thank you, one and all, for honoring us with your esteemed presence and continued support. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we close this special session. Once again, our immense thanks and gratitude to the Honorable Minister. और सभी नाइलेट सेंटर्स से जो हमारे माननीय प्रतिनिधिगण जुड़े थे उनको भी विशेष शुभकामनाएं. धन्यवाद प्रोफेसर सहस्रबुद्धे जी का. धन्यवाद अन्य हमारे सभी वरिष्ठ और विशिष्ट अतिथिगण का. माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का विकसित भारत की जो परिकल्पना है 2047 में भारत एक डेवलप्ड नेशन विकसित भारत, उसमें नाइलेट एक विशेष भूमिका निभाता हुआ अपने सेंटर्स के माध्यम से एक सक्षम, शिक्षित, सशक्त, स्वावलंबी भारत का निर्माण करता हुआ, ब्रिजिंग दैट divide between urban India, rural India, taking education to the tier 2, tier 3 cities. Requesting all of you to remain at your respective seats, for we are going to be just moving into and straight away moving into our next session, exploring the role of artificial intelligence in digitalization of education. आप सभी से निवेदन करना चाहेंगे कि आप अपने स्थान पर ही बैठे रहें. हमारा जो अगला सत्र है, जो पैनल डिस्कशन है, उसे हम आरंभ करने जा रहे हैं. सिर्फ 2 मिनट हम लेंगे स्टेज को सेट करने की तरफ अगले सत्र के लिए. Requesting everyone to please be at your respective seats. This is a session, a panel discussion, exploring the role and a very transformative role of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, as you know, it's a buzzword today. But then how it's going to be impacting the education system, we are going to be exploring that role, bringing together the leaders from industry, from academia, from the startups and entrepreneurs who are present with us are also going to be joining us. And then as we expand our digital footprints, taking the education through to the people at the last mile, we look into how artificial intelligence can play that transformative role in the digitalization of education. That's the topic of our panel discussion. आप सभी से निवेदन करना चाहेंगे कि आप अपने स्थान पर ही प्लीज बने रहें. Ladies and gentlemen, we heard our Honorable Minister, sir, and he mentioned that as we move in the direction of realizing the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister of Viksit Bharat, it is the digital imprints and footprints which we are casting and taking the education, skilling, empowering our youth, empowering our citizens with the future-ready skills. That's going to be helping us develop a more inclusivity, bringing in inclusivity and empowering our people and building a Viksit Rashtra, Viksit Bharat, inclusive India, an India which is globally competitive. The Honorable Minister spoke about and emphasized on the role of technology, skilling and innovation in building a future-ready Bharat. And that is where the various MOUs which were signed, the collaborations with the industries, how the synergy between technology and industry, between NIELIT and industry, can empower our youth and strengthen India's digital ecosystem. Ladies and gentlemen, we are starting with a panel discussion. So requesting you all to be back at your respective seats, please. सभी हमारे जो यहाँ पर स्टूडेंट्स हैं, विद्यार्थी हैं, उनसे निवेदन है कि प्लीज़ आप इस सेशन में भाग लें जो हम फ्यूचर रेडी एजुकेशन, फ्यूचर रेडी स्किल्स की बात कर रहे हैं. इसमें आप काफ़ी आपको जानकारी मिलेगी हमारे इंडस्ट्री के लीडर्स और जो अन्य हमारे पैनलिस्ट हैं. तो ये सेशन जो है विशेष रूप से आप सभी के लिए है. And this is where you're also going to be understanding the very requirement of the industry. It's going to be, again, very educating, enriching for all of you. So special request to the students to be part of the session. The exposure to the new technologies, the emerging technologies which you are getting, and especially AI transforming our education system. That's the Honorable Minister now being seen off by the Director General of NIELIT and the other leaders. So welcome to everyone in this session, the panel discussion on the role of AI in digitalization of education. We explore the transformative potential of AI in education. I first invite our moderator to be joining us here on the stage, Ms. Shweta Khurana, the Senior Director at Intel. और जो लोग यहाँ पर उपस्थित हैं वो विशेष रूप से उनका तालियों के साथ हम उनका मंच पर स्वागत करते हैं. Shweta leads Intel's public-private partnership programs across the Asia Pacific and Japan, focus on developing the AI human capital as part of the Intel's goal to empower 30 million people with AI skills. Mr. Ashish Tiwari, our panelist, Head of Responsible AI at Infosys. Having more than 20 years of global AI experience, he was instrumental in Infosys becoming the first in the industry to achieve the ISO IEC 42001 certification. Ashish and his team created and open sourced the Responsible AI Toolkit ensuring fairness, transparency, and security in the AI systems. Inviting now Professor Prabhat Ranjan, the Chairman, Research, Innovation and International Relations at Dr. D.Y. Patil Pratishthan. He, ladies and gentlemen, is a renowned nuclear fusion scientist, futurist, educator, innovator. He introduced India's first AI/ML robotics integrated BTech curriculum and later adopted nationwide, which was later adopted nationwide by AICTE. Earlier as a head of TIFAC, he led the National Technology Vision 2035. Inviting now Ms. Winnie Jory, the Director of Education Industry at Microsoft Corporation, a thought leader in education, driving AI and digital skilling innovation that have impacted millions of students and educators across India. She has partnerships with government and boards like the CBSE and IB developed curriculum in the emerging technologies. Our next panelist, Dr. Rishi Mohan Bhatnagar, the co-founder, India and Global CTO of AA2IT, is a seasoned business and technology leader, more than 25 years experience, currently serving as the MD and Global CTO of AA2IT, President of Muni Educare, and MD of RCICO Organic Private Limited. And our next panelist, Ashish Gupta. He's a transformational technology leader, more than 20 years of experience in AI, cloud, and digital transformation. He's a Vice President, Engineering and Head of Software at Barco, driving next generation software strategy and business outcomes. Previously, he was with Oracle. So with all our panelists, can we just have everyone to be seated, please? And we start with the panel discussion, handing over to our moderator, Ms. Shweta Khurana. Please put on the mics. Console, mics. Mics on kar de, please.
That's working? Oh, right. Good evening, everybody. And we completely understand that that's quite a lot of echo, but we completely understand that you've been waiting for a long time for the event today, and this is post the main event. So what we're going to try and do is make it brief, but make it interesting. So just bear with us. Today's a very special day, right? If I look back, today kind of inspires us to have hope, strength, wisdom, resilience, and prosperity. And my congratulations to NIELIT and their team for launching the Digital University. Getting to the topic for the day, we've all known technology as information technology. But one key change which is happening with AI is that we are moving from information to intelligence. So the whole context of what technology can do for us has also evolved accordingly. AI is the biggest opportunity to this generation, and I can see a lot of youth in the room right now. The idea is to amplify human potential and get them to understand how to really use AI in context to human-machine collaboration. It's not just about reshaping jobs, but it's also demanding new skills, new mindsets, and primarily access to new tool sets or new compute power, which can allow them to do wonders with artificial intelligence. We have a very reputed panel here, and it'll be great if the speakers can focus on how AI is really emerging as a transformative change for education. Not just use the experiences of what used to happen as AI as a tool for learning, but also how can it really evolve learning outcomes and prepare the youth of today for future of work or for tomorrow to come. So with this, I'll start with the questions. My first question goes to Ashish, Infosys. So Ashish, what mechanisms can ensure AI in education is explainable, auditable, so that teachers, parents, and students can learn their outcomes. As head of responsible AI at Infosys, it'll be great if you can really also talk about what ways can responsible AI really become a key differentiator in India.
Hello. I hope my voice is clear and crisp going back, right? Okay. Thank you, Shweta, for the question. I think we all understand the potential of AI, especially after the emergence of a generative AI kind of tools, I think a couple of years back. And now since then, AI has penetrated deep into our daily uses, and a lot of applications we are using heavily and relying heavily on our day-to-day task on the AI. Now, when it comes to the AI risk and incidents, there are a lot of AI risk with, when it comes to the misinformation, deepfake. I think knowing about the AI risk and how to tackle those kind of incidents and problems becomes paramount. Now, coming from an industry where we serve a lot of clients across the geography, and we develop AI applications, not just for us, but for our client. So we have to take a comprehensive look on what kind of mechanism needs to be in place to ensure whatever is developed and deployed is responsible enough. So, for example, I think you will have a trust on any assistant, whether it is a human or it is an AI assistant, when you have 2-3 major factors. One could be the transparency. The decision making is transparent to the user or not. That becomes very important, because suppose your AI assistant gives you some grade. It's a low grade, maybe high grade. And low grade will be more important because you wanted to know why I have been given the low grade by the AI assistant. So there should be some explainability factor involved where I can know, or the user can know, why this is happened and why the decision has been made. So not just the transparency, but the accountability part is very crucial. So suppose the decision has been made wrong, and you wanted to file an appeal or raise a complaint, there has to be a clear procedure for any AI incident management to take place, like grievance addressal, so forth, so on and so forth. And another important factor is you don't want your AI assistant to be biased against you, right? So when the AI is being learned from a lot of data which is available on the internet and many other ways, synthetic data also is a possibility. But it is important to see if the bias exists on those data set before even you feed this data set to the model is very important. So these are some of the, I think, important characteristics where we can build the applications which is trustworthy enough. But even before that, the mindset to be responsible enough is very important. And there are a lot of things, I think, which we could talk about it, I think, if you're given a chance. But moving on back to you, Shweta.
Thank you so much. Okay, this seems to be better. Thank you so much, Ashish. And it's interesting that you spoke about the bias and the transparency piece of it, because trusting AI or trusting any emerging technology today has become a very essential part of learning it. It's not just picking up a new skill, but also having the advantage on how do I trust new digital technologies to do the work which an independent agent can. So with that, I'll move to Professor Ranjan. Professor Ranjan, how do you think AI can be leveraged for strengthening India's research and innovation capacity within universities, and specifically in context to what Ashish just spoke about, trust, explainability, transparency?
So before I proceed, I'm a nuclear fusion scientist, and I was never a creative person, but I became a creative person using AI. And one of the biases I have seen, for example, the minute I mention somebody is Indian, the skin color is mellowed down a little bit. Similarly, I want car to be driving left hand, it doesn't do it anyway. So what is important is the data has to be very important. He was talking about that. But for that, the data center should be Indian. For that, you require energy, and you require nuclear fusion for that energy, which needs to work. So it's very important. Data centers are going to consume a lot of energy. If you don't have energy in the country, we will not be able to run these data centers, which is required to maintain our own thing. That's important. Now, coming back to the research innovation part, few things that I have noticed is that the use of artificial intelligence is able to reduce the time it takes me to do certain tasks. Just to give an example, I was part of AICT PhD guideline committee. And what we find that this is typically a period of literature survey. Today, you can finish that literature survey so fast that the time you're going to give for 6 months or 1 year can be reduced. But what we have recommended that the researchers must mention how much they have used and what is the way, and there should be one more thing that we notice is that many times, and especially in the early years, we found that the AI system will give you a fake reference or some fake data, and you don't verify it. It has happened in legal cases also. In court, a fake case has been mentioned, and then they discover that's a wrong thing. So this is happening quite often. So we have said that researchers must verify that each of those references and the facts that have been given, data must be verified. I've been personally using it myself. One of the Perplexity, for example, does a good job. It gives the references, so you can go actually verify. Most of the other ones don't mention where they have taken this information from. So this is a very important part. So what we are able to do is to reduce the time that it takes for us to do the literature survey. Similarly, you don't have to read hundreds of papers. We are able to give the command, and within minutes, you get so much more information. So time to do research is reducing, and I'm using it myself all the time. I've been user of AI for a long time myself, developer also, for almost 28 years. Earlier it was for nuclear fusion, and I've been using for many purposes. So the other part that is very important part is that AI we should not look at in isolation. There are other technologies that should also come together. One is the area of brain-computer interface that I also work on. There's the area of holography. So even if I look at from education point of view, in one of the documents we prepared for Government of India, National Mission on Interdisciplinary Cyber Physical System, we had put grand challenges, 25 grand challenges. One of them I'll mention here, multilingual holography guru. That means I'm able to have a holography guru which combines holography, AI, and language, real-time translation in language, where I can have a guru right at my bedside or on table, connecting to me and guiding me all the time. Okay? And I could transfer my brain, if somebody wanted my advice, to that guru, and a person has a personalized guru. So this is the extension of our Guru Shishya Parampara that we had, and this can be scaled up using this technology. So we should not look at AI in isolation, we should use it together as a thing. Coming back to the innovation part, there's one more factor where we are quite weak, is hands-on work. And that is extremely important. I personally see 3 pillars of India's growth. One is semiconductor, second is infrastructure, and third is manufacturing. Each of these requires hands-on work, and India, we are quite weak on this. Through Dr. Saraswati is sitting here, through AICT Idea Lab scheme, we have grown quite a bit. But this has to grow into, he mentioned about 50,000 tinkering lab. We need to have, every student should be able to use this digital technology to work with hand in a much better way. One more point I'll make, last point to response is that the students today do not want to listen to teachers. And this is a very serious issue where they would rather learn from other sources. The role of teacher has also changed. So this is another thing that we need to worry about in thing. But research innovation definitely is helping us tremendously. We can reduce time. The time to take PhD work also can be reduced now. We don't need to wait for so long because things can be done much faster. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Ranjan. Just to unpack all that you said is a reality in today's education system. AI hallucination is something which we all deal with. In fact, at Intel, one of the exercises which we get the students to do when we are skilling them on AI is give them an hallucinated essay and tell them to figure out what is a reality and what isn't. Just so that they also understand the domains of artificial intelligence. The other very valid point which you spoke about is how do you ensure that you have the agents working 24/7, which are replicating human talent to a certain extent? So again, human-machine compatibility, or the ability of teachers to learn new skills, to be able to work and train the students to learn in an era of machines becomes extremely important. So with this, I'll turn to Vinny, since you're right next to Professor Ranjan. So Vinny, if I remember way back in 2019, and that's like 6 years now, we've been, when we were talking about introducing AI as a subject of study to CBSE, India was one of the first countries to do that 6 years ago. From then to now, what are the new models which you've seen evolving, which can be scaled for a country like India? And even internationally, if you can share some best practices, that'd be really good.
Thank you. There is a lot that has happened in the applications of AI in education realm. And I'll share two broad experiences, one out of India, and there are several outside India as well. In India, in the state of Karnataka, for 1,000 schools, AI engine was leveraged, an open AI algorithm, for teachers to teach in Kannada across various subjects. In the schools where students were not coming, students were disinterested, within matter of days, the teachers were able to carve beautiful lesson plans, create wonderful projects which involve teamwork and individual contributions, novel experiments using local materials. This experiment was done with Microsoft Research Labs as well as Shikshana Foundation, which is a non-profit out of Bangalore. And they created local language learning models where the algorithm was trained on Indian languages with Indian data sets. And there has been such a positive feedback. The students are excited, teachers are happy, saves a lot of time, and creates interesting sessions where students are looking forward to come back to the school and engage. I think it's in India, nearly $500 million are spent to train teachers in every single district and at a national level as well. And, but if we leverage AI, it takes a lifetime to teach, to curate a lesson plan that can drive learning outcomes. That creates novel experiments of interactions and pedagogical innovations, because every concept can be taught in multiple ways, and AI can be a great facilitator to that. And when you do this, these implementations in a secure manner with enterprise security, and the data sets are cleaned up, you have, there is a way of interactions, the kind of prompts that you give, the assessments that you create, it's really fascinating. And secondly, I want to call out the experience from University of Sydney, where they have created digital twins for teachers. And the idea is not to replace the teacher. The idea is to make the teacher a super teacher. And what they are doing is across more than 24 subjects, there is an AI tutor for multiple subjects where students can interact with the tutor on multiple subjects outside the classroom as well. Not everyone wants to speak during the class hour of teaching, but beyond that, there are students who are curious, who want to ask more questions, they want to clarify, they want to do some self-assessments, they want to collaborate on multiple things, and AI support is phenomenal. It's based on Azure OpenAI, and there are more than 50 institutions worldwide, and the best part is the OpenAI algorithm is available. But if you want to customize it to, let's say, multiple Indian languages, you want to do it in Indonesia, you want to do it in China, all that flexibility exists. So I think having a personal tutor that can help us, where we do not hesitate to interact rather than take tuitions outside, I think it's such a beautiful way to personalize our learning experience. And it's not just text to text, it could be speech to text, and you could be speaking in Oriya, you want the response in Oriya, I don't want to interact in English, maybe I want to interact in Marathi. And look at the like for NIELIT, if you have centers all across India, the teacher may be teaching in one language, but if you have 22 different languages on which students can assimilate, I think look at where the experience can be taken to. And the other thing is conversion of content in multiple languages. So under the guidance of Professor Sahasrabuddhe, Anuvadini, when it was launched, look at the kind of, it is such a stunning experience of translating books into local languages, videos in multiple languages into local languages at a click of a button. And I think these are all very powerful renditions, and even to do projects as well. Today they are, the AI is being used to, for example, look at water management. Each one of you belong to a particular district. You want to empower people and communities around you. So let's say water management in a particular district. What are the sources of inlets, outlets, how the land has been encroached. Using satellite data and AI services, you can get reports that would have taken months and lakhs of rupees. So I think it just takes education to a very, very different level. Virtual labs, science labs, that we my first master's was in physics, and we learned Archimedes' principles, Newton's laws. And when I witnessed one of the AI solutions on a virtual lab, it was so beautifully, Archimedes' principle was so beautifully depicted, where they took a ship to a Black Sea, Caspian Sea, Indian Ocean, and they'd start putting containers, and it shows when the ship will sink down, how the specific gravity changes, and what impact it has on the water displaced. It is such a marvelous intervention which brings the world to my doorstep without investing millions and millions of rupees in physical infrastructure, but it gives me such a unique experience that as a learner, I'll retain it for a lifetime. As a physicist, I think if I had all of that, it would have changed my experiences. So I'll just stop here.
Thanks, Vinny. That's a great example, and thank you for sharing all these use cases, because it allows us to see AI as an equalizer. It allows us to see AI not as something which is here to change the trajectory of education, but something which can really support enhancing of learning outcomes. And not just enhancement, but enhancing learning outcomes across where language is not a barrier, where physical skills are not a barrier, where accessibility or topography where a student or a teacher is not a barrier. So thanks for sharing that. With that, I'll move to Mr. Ashish Gupta. So the question is, what breakthroughs in computing and platforms are essential, or do you think are essential, for making AI-driven personalization affordable in India's education system?
Yeah, thank you, Shweta. It's a extremely valid question, but first of all, I'd like to congratulate the NIELIT for having a digital-first initiative, digital-first university. So coming back to the question, scalability and affordability, and as well as personalized experience in any education system is extremely important. And for that, how can AI and what breakthrough technologies are required to be embedded first, that's what is extremely important. Number one, which I personally feel is, as you were also referring, Dr. Vinny, was a tutor available to you which is able to judge you during your learning experience. It's like a GPS, right? Everybody has used Google Maps. Everybody has set up a destination and goal. What Google Maps gives you is an initial direction. This is the path which you can achieve in such and such duration. Now, similar thing, what it does in between is that it changes based on the traffic. It changes the path, the learning path based on if there is a traffic, then still you will be able to reach it, but take a different route. And that is exactly what is needed to have a personalized personalized learning experience through AI, which is possible, where you start that I want to learn X, maybe the physics Archimedes principle. Now, based on my learning capability as well as based on my previous knowledge, it should change. Oh, the person does not even understand the X part, so let me refer him to this video, which is more important, more critical to understand first, so that he can understand the eventual goal, which is learning whatever he wants to achieve. So that's extremely important to have embedded in the system itself to create right engagement. And since, especially in India, if I see where we have 236 million plus students, which are so diverse in nature, even our minister was saying that we have to have this education not only towards IT, but all towards even the yoga or any other stream or economics or history or something like that. This engagement is extremely important to monitor. That's the second part, which I am saying now, which is in real time, the technology should be able to assess how much engaged I am in this particular course through either monitoring clicks or monitoring my emotions, monitoring my frustration as a student, and automatically change the path. So this another technology which is extremely important is the engagement, which should be available in the system itself in the first go. So that is second, which I feel, and third, I think you already covered, is that for a country like India, it is extremely important that we are so diverse in nature, 22 plus languages or more than that. Automatically, I should be able to converse as well as hear the content in my own language by some automated way, utilizing, of course, the AI translation in a right way. So that is another thing. One thing which I would like to add, because it is sort of, I've been developing scalable cloud services and affordable cloud service throughout my career. We have too much fascinated by cloud, by the way. I'm not saying that cloud is bad, but everything on cloud related to AI is not what we should attempt to. We should make a equal edge first story also, because we have a unique problems like connectivity, problems like even the electricity. We have a problem, Mizoram maybe, or whatever state. So we should enable or invest something on edge itself, so that sometimes the inferencing or these kind of things can happen at the edge itself. So the experience does not get compromised. So the cloud should be used. This should be a hybrid infrastructure, but with the edge and cloud in combination. And these problems may not be very much prevalent in US, for example, right? It is because electricity is there. So we have to be very judgmental in what kind of infrastructure we are creating for AI too. So some of these three key things which I would like to highlight again is one is that it should be goal oriented, and it should the course should be reoriented based on my student liking. Second, the infrastructure, and of course the third, content is the king, as we say. In economics we say cash is the king. Here, content is the king. So how I can be served in the right content. So thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for calling out, because AI at the edge is something which is extremely critical, considering the kind of power consumption, connectivity, and with every machine, literally every PC becoming an AI PC in days to come, that becomes so much more simpler. So thanks for calling that out. Picking up from your point on personalized learning, so my next question to you is, Rishi, how do you think are startups really managing to adapt or develop scalable and localized AI solutions for India's education system?
Yeah, thank you, Sweta. In the last 1 month, on 4th of September, the CII announced the AI Awards, National AI Awards, and I was the jury for that. And then on 11th, 12th, 13th, Ministry of Culture conducted something called Bharat Setu, Gyan Setu, and I was the jury for that as well. And fortunately, being an investor in startups, and I have been attached to the startup ecosystem quite some time, from the very beginning in India. Something for the education, because 3 of my invested companies are in education. You will be surprised that when we are thinking about an AI, ChatGPT, or any kind of DeepSeek, they are based on their data sets, not on the Indian data set. So if you're going to ask any of the Western data set based AI platform or tool, whatever I call them, if you're going to ask them the question, who started the atomic theory in the world? They'll say somebody in UK in this particular year, because that's what the information they have. But that's not India. 2,600 years back, there was somebody called Maharshi Karnad who wrote a book in which there is a shlok which says about the atomic theory. Our Vedas talks about Parmanu, okay, which is atom. And there's so many things if we go into details. So there was 5 crore, that is 50 million manuscripts in India. And people have started working, and one of the startups in Nagpur called Inverse AI, they create something called Bharatiya GPT, which has been able to read the manuscripts with the OCRs. They're going to translate it with the scholars from different universities. They have been able to get each and every shlokas translated and converted, and now you can converse. You can have an avatar of Vivekananda, you can have an avatar of Krishna, and you can ask them questions about Gita, and they're going to talk to you. And that's the way the future education is going to be, where we are going to have our own data sets. We're going to talk about our own things. Because when you're going to think about mathematics, you need to teach about the Vedic mathematics also. And if you think about the medical science, then you have to talk about Shushrutu and all the other Indian scientists who worked thousands of years and created something which are available. And that's what the vision of the current government is. We have to be proud of what we have. And that's the way we have to educate. So there is a need for an Indian, if not all the starters, but the Indian GPTs, the Indian large language models, the Indian algorithms, and the Indian agents which everybody can use. So that's what people have started doing. So we have an India-based tutors, AI tutors, which is going to talk about how this was done in this particular things and how the other mathematics or physics and other subjects have been taught. So why I'm talking about this? Because there are many startups which started working on this. And I was really surprised that on 27th of August, we released that there's going to be a call for papers. And on 1st of September, there were 43 entries. And they were not from IITs only. They were all from startups. And they are startups from India. There are 200,000 startups in the United States only on AI, but there are many, many in India as well. And many of them are working on such kind of innovative ideas where they're trying to get what was there in our country, finding. And you know, it's such a challenge. But there are 30 different scripts. Everybody is not writing, was not writing in Devanagari. Okay? And when I'm going to speak, and when you all speak, sometimes we use an English letter, English word, and a Hindi word. Somebody might be writing in that time, but and there were scripts which were Tamil and Hindi. So you're going to have OCRs which can work only on Devanagari. So there's some multiple challenges, and people are working on these challenges. And that's the kind of startup ecosystem that's getting created in India for different ways of finding how to get the understanding of the word in the manuscript. And the manuscripts are in very bad state right now. Not every manuscript is available like a digital manuscript and you can read it. And there's, so many complexities, but students like these have been trying to find it out. Many times they were writing from hand, it was not a typewriter. So that every A is going to be A. I can write A in a different manner and you can write A in a different manner. On their scripts, they are writing it. And then there's some areas which are now torn. Some are faded, some are misplaced. Now finding scholars and working on it, that's the way we are going to reinvent and revive us. And that's what is happening. We are going to have, there's something called Bharatiya GPT. Okay? If you're going to go and ask DeepSeek, where is Arunachal? It will say, I am not authorized to tell. Okay? But we all know where is Arunachal. We have to work on our own GPTs, our own data sets, and create. And that's a huge opportunity for startups across India. Okay? Last point before I go. I feel GPTs and these AIs is a threat. And if we are not going to work, it's going to impact us. Many of you are children, but we all have we have children and when they were very young, and a child going to the school and the school teacher go and say, CAT SAT. Whatever you do, whatever the father or mother will do, the child will say, Madam ne kaha hai. CAT SAT. And they will never agree that CAT is CAT. In a similar fashion, if AI will tell you that this tribe does not exist, or this thing was not there, and Ramayana was a myth, we will all agree after 10 years that that's because this GPT is telling us. Otherwise, we have to provide an alternative. And that's what is required now in the AI education, that we need to provide an alternative which is for us. And we have to find these out, get the manuscripts, get them translated, put them into the GPT, create that data set, and make them available for the world. Otherwise, nobody will remember that there was Maharishi Karnad who did 2600 years back something called atomic theory. Thank you.
Thank you. That was very interesting. Also, the focus on how critical it is that we stay true to our roots, how we kind of protect the indigenous capability of not just our scriptures, but our ethnicities, the languages, the variants we have as a culture, and kind of protecting all of that becomes so much more important. And AI really would allow us to do that, but the capacity for engaging with that has to be built within India. It has to be built here. It has to be our youth or the future generation who are creating those SLMs or the large language models who are really going to be doing that for us. If it's all right with the panel, I know we started late, but we're on top of the time which was allocated, and I want to give time to everybody to go and celebrate the Shera. So if that's all right, I would just like to end with maybe one sentence from each one of you, which kind of addresses that access to artificial intelligence in today's day and age is not a luxury. It is essential. It is essential for youth to understand how important it is to prepare them for future of work. It is essential for youth to understand why is it so critical, no matter what career path they may be selecting, but somewhere it will intersect with it. And they need to know how to navigate themselves in a world which is going to be largely driven by AI in the coming years. So what is your perspective on this? If you could just share one sentence and then we can end the panel and we can start right from you.
Shweta, can I add few more things which I may have not earlier? I think we have already spoken about the AI efficiency at length, right? But I'm not sure I have able to pass on the importance of responsible AI to the audience here. Given that if you could have the time, we could have make it more interesting and interactive, but because of the lack of time, I like to tell you that when we say responsible AI, there are things which could be codified. It's not something principles we need to take care of. It's not just the processes. There are things which could be codified. For example, explainability, transparency we were talking about earlier. There are techniques in the machine learning models like LIME, SHAPE, and there are stochastic model techniques for explainability like chain of thoughts, which ChatGPTs and other large language model have started using. So all those things are codified. So primarily safety, security, biases, and transparency, etc. So that's one important thing. Another important point was about the India context. So I'm not sure how many of you know that there is one very important pillar under the India AI mission, and that is the safe and trusted tower, where a lot of toolkits are being developed to ensure any AI application that developed safe and trustworthy. So there are a lot of works which has been going on, but I think if India can take a lead on setting the example, just like yoga for wellness and the ethical AI we can promote further by bringing the guardrails and the standards, etc. It would make a lot sense. And yeah, thank you.
Thanks. Professor Ranjan.
So I'm looking at AI from education point of view. Normally in a university, for example, there's a 4-year program. We used to say that you must fix all the 4 years course curriculum in advance when the student joins. Today, of course, technology is changing so fast that we can't simply define the curriculum in advance. It's so fast that even every week it changes. So naturally, even the regulatory bodies have to look into this part. Some changes we have made, but much more thought has to be given to this, that even when I'm teaching a semester, next semester things are going to change, which also means the students themselves have to keep learning all the time. And the teacher's role has completely changed today. So as I said, teachers are no longer a source of knowledge, not only source of knowledge, but their role has to change. Something like we used to be says on the stage, now we have to guide on the side. This is a very, very important change, and personally I have seen that I've been using AI for many purposes. And every week I have to learn something new because platform changes, the capability changes, something new comes up. So I can't even stop for 1 month, say that, okay, I'm going to fix myself. This is a major change, and one of the things being mentioned was, today students believe on AI so much that they say teacher is wrong. So even they're so ChatGPT is saying this, and so teacher is wrong. So that is something that they must realize that. And the last point I'll also make in this is that India is a country of diversity. Whether you look at language, whether you look at food, whether you look at dress, whether you look at skin color, but AI sometimes averages them out. And that is something where what Rishi was saying, that lot of data has to be fed in a system, which makes it, in fact, just example from my life. I came back from US in 1986 after doing PhD nuclear fusion. First nuclear fusion reactor started in Calcutta in 1987, I was there. For all records, you'll find that it's not mentioned at all. It talks about IPR starting the first one. Dr. Manmohan Tirupati is there, Sanjay Dhurandhar is there, all of us were there. But Calcutta is not mentioned anywhere. So you see, the data is very important. If you put wrong data many times, same thing gets circulated through AI also. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vinny.
If I were to say it in one sentence, it is everyone should be a lifelong learner. You should not stop learning, because the rate at which the tech is changing, every single day new things are coming up. And we need to keep pace with it and learn continuously. I can, with the partnership with NIELIT as well, Microsoft brings huge skilling opportunities for every single student, developer, youth, teachers, researchers, 4,400 plus modules available in public realm, AI toolkits for students, for teachers. And I think it's very important not to carry misconceptions, because there is, I think it's very important to understand like what goes in developing algorithms, how algorithms can be trained on data sets and not just believe everything. So I think if you have a systematic plan for skilling for yourself in AI and other technologies, cybersecurity, data analytics, I think it'll take you places, and you'll be so much more well-informed rather than saying just, you know, making statements in just black and white. Thank you.
Thanks, Vinny.
So in the interest of time, I see many students here. I think somebody has said that we are drowning in information and starving for knowledge and wisdom. So somehow you have to capitalize the power of your AI, both students and teachers, to convert this lot of information, whatever is available to you, to real knowledge, and become more and more curious to convert that into wisdom. So that is extremely important for all of you. Try to just not get information, convert that to knowledge and wisdom. That's what I would say. Thank you.
Yeah, the last thing which I want to say, which I've taken a lot of time earlier. So, you know, it's a time for an opportunity. It's a huge opportunity for us, especially for India, to correct the narratives. You know, we have been going through a time when Westerns have been putting a lot of narratives. It's time for us to correct those narratives, because AI is the future, and if you're going to correct the data sets, you're going to correct the narratives. And that's what we all should try to do. Thank you.
Thank you so much. If I have to inference and kind of recap what all the panelists, what all of you have mentioned today is, one distinct concept which comes across is that every student has to not just become an AI consumer, but also become an AI knowledge creator, because that is what would really help India grow. The other inference which I make out is that education is the bridge between AI and future of work, because if we can get learning right today, then we can create a workforce where every individual has the possibility to succeed for tomorrow. So with this, I will end the panel. Professor Ranjan has a comment.
Sorry. One technology I would like to mention, which I talked about in Delhi in 2015, that is the brain-to-brain transfer of knowledge. And it's already happening. 2019, we have seen. That is going to bypass all this AI and everything, and all education will be disrupted completely. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much to the panel for helping us explore the transformative potential of AI. And I would like to invite Mr. Alok Tripathi, the Director Scheme and Skilling, NIELIT, to be joining us here on the stage and presenting the mementos to our eminent speakers. He, ladies and gentlemen, is also the Chief Controller of Examinations. Thanking all our speakers for sharing their immense knowledge on AI, on the very potential and power of AI, on the opportunities and then the challenges which come with the AI adoption, on responsible AI, indigenization of AI from India, for India and for the world. As was mentioned, correcting the very narrative on India. That's the Ganesh Murti being presented to everyone. Blessings from Ganesh Ji, the Lord of many new beginnings. Thank you very much to all our panelists. Thanking all of you also for joining us. As we can have a group photograph probably of all of you here on the stage. May I request Alok Ji also to be joining us. We'll have a group photograph with all the panelists. May I request DG also to be joining us. May I request Professor Sahasrabudhe sir also to be joining us. तो बहुत बहुत सभी का धन्यवाद कुशल युवा और आत्मनिर्भर भारत की तरफ जो हमने आज एक और कदम लिया है इस यूनिवर्सिटी के लॉन्च के द्वारा आपका उसमें शामिल होने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद थैंक यू लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन विद दैट वी क्लोज फॉर द डे थैंक यू and now inviting everyone to be please joining us for high tea.
जो भी चार्जेस हैं स्पीकर को